Hi, welcome to PippoFlash.com. What I'm going to talk about today is the digital sitting project. Let's go to the event designer. Okay, the digital sitting project is a system commissioned by a company in Milan, which is needed to manage the sitting, the people positioning, sitting, guests, and people staying sectors, catwalks for fashion events or any kind of events. Being a Milan company, so it's targeted to fashion events pretty much. Here are all the sectors. I can define as many sectors, as many stages as I want, direction, edit everything. And this is a 1 by 1, so apparently this room is about 20 meters by 20 meters. I can navigate it, zoom in. I have a little handy navigator here from which I can zoom into my whole room, fashion event room. I can zoom in. I can either use this tool, this navigator tool, or I can use pressing space. Cursor becomes a hand, and I can drag everything around in my room. Of course, the dimensions change, the rulers change according to positioning, to where the room is, and dimensions and zooming. Here, I can manage the seats, I can manage the sectors themselves. Let's make it a little bit smaller. This is a stage. I can manage the stage, give it a name, give it a color, from a list of color. Everything is handled by configuration files, width, height, positioning. I can change the position and size by hand, resizing and repositioning, or I can do everything programmatically with text fields. This works, of course, for stages as well as sectors. The sectors are a bit more complicated because they have seats inside. From seats, I can choose the sector name, the sector color. This is all taken from configuration files. I can assign this sector to a single user, and that user can only do changes. Here are all the sizes, dimensions, and positioning. Also with sectors, I can resize dynamically by hand or do it programmatically. There's the number of rows, start from A, number of columns, start from 1, content type, numerical or alphabetical, ascending or descending. I can change the orientation, orientate it whatever I want, wherever I want, in any directions. And this is the sector making. Then, zooming in a little bit, we can start to see how it works with guests. All the seat namings, of course, is decided with this rows, count type, alphabetical, direction, ascending, descending. They can be numbers, they can start, they can have a bias, they can be connected to other sector, you can do whatever. Everything is handled in configuration files. Also the language, of course. All my applications have an external caption file that allows you to modify all languages, also the date formats, number formats, everything. So this is how it works with guests. Here is a seat. I can assign the seat to any guest that assigned to me, because of course I can only work with people assigned to certain users. I can even assign a seat to a certain user only for him to modify it. I can change the seat color. I can do anything I want. Of course, this thing manages multiple selection. If I keep Control pressed, I can select multiple seats and do any kind of operation I have to multiple seat selection. Basically assign to a user, unassign seats, delete seats, and change seat color. Let's go to single user. Maybe here I want to place a camera, so I remove this seat. Let's get rid of all these seats because I need some space to set camera. So multiple selection, they are not occupied, so nobody will ever. Okay, one of the seats is binded to a guest. There's a complicated binding system, so I can't really remove it. So let's remove it 1 by 1. Okay, here I have the space for my camera. I can also restore my seat if I deleted it by mistake. So user management. Users, they can be dragged, they can be moved around, can be dragged somewhere else, can be changed. I can do whatever with the users. Okay, let's move this user here to G5. Okay, the user is now there. This stage I can read the name strangely because seats are resized according to the proportion of the stage. Of course, this proportion I did is a little bit unrealistic. So let's resize it so that we can better read names. I try to resize it like this. Oops, it collides with the stage. So I need to move the stage a little bit down, move this sector a little bit down, and resize this stage so that we can read the names much better now. Okay, let's zoom in again. Let's zoom in again. I can navigate there with my navigator here. Let's go back to our guests. Oh, so many nice guests. So, what I can do with the guests, I can create relationship, I can group them, I can unbind the seat. Let's create a link between this guest on A5 and this guest here. Okay, I just created a link. Let's select the link, change color. I want this link to be red. Fantastic. So I know all the connections. I know who's this woman secretary. I mean, we're talking about fashion events. So there is a, I didn't know about it before doing this project, but there is a very complicated set of relationships between people, relationships of importance and stuff. I didn't really go through the social details, but I was just into the programming details. So let's do something. Of course, moving a guest allows me also to move his relationships. So let's select this guest, drag it here. We will see that the guest move and also the relationships have been moved. I can create new catwalks, I can create whatever. So let's create a new, let's go to Elements Management and create a new stage. Okay, here I got my new stage. I can place it wherever. Here. Okay, so let's resize it. Where is this stage oriented? Let's say this way. And this one we oriented south. And this one we almost connected to the stage. I can't overlap stage, of course. So this is my new, okay, stage layout. I can change colors, I can do whatever to remember how the stages look like. You know, these codes, these color codes, they are all defined in the content and caption application. So for any client, I can assign a rating. And what they're doing, they are renting out this application, and many people are already using it in Milan in order to provide seats to people. And this is the Flash interface. Of course, it's very reliable. The whole code is less than 200 key, so it's pretty much optimized. Of course, this interface is very useful to create schematics for the real event, so that people, hosts and people dealing actually with the press, dealing with people coming to the event, they know all the lists, they know all the seats, they know all the relationships, and they can have a visual glimpse as well as reporting. This application is connected to a powerful server side which creates all kind of reporting and statistics. And you can also print in the application your own sector with visual aids and everything. You can show seats, show links, show stages, show sectors, do whatever. And you can print directly from within Flash a formatted version of the movie clip, exactly what you see on stage. I'm not going to print it now. To help you, to help the people to manage. Let's say somebody's in charge of this sector. Okay, I'm going to print it out and give it to him. So whoever comes to the event, the guy at the door will know exactly where they're sitting.